Good morning. Good morning. We are going to do our our mystical shaman automatic writing practice, where we pull a card and then we see what we're going to be writing about or who we're going to be connecting to. It was fast. Sometimes I feel like all like, ooh, what's it going to be? Luminous warrior. Mm-hmm. Yummy. Okay. 32. Okay. The essence. The luminous warrior has no enemies in the world or the next. He is impeccable in word and deed. He focuses on his light rather than on what hides in the dark. Since he casts no shadow, he is as radiant as the sun and can transform his most terrible enemy into his ally. His power comes not from the sword, but from speaking his truth at all cost. The invitation. The luminous warrior reminds you it is important to focus on your power, wisdom, and beauty. Do not be seduced by what seems wrong with you or with the world. Remember that intention follows attention. So focus on your positive traits. Feed your light with more light until you feel truly empowered. Then there will be little need for action as you resolve all situations from within. The medicine. Are you being tempted by your emotions to follow your lower instincts? Are you being, yes, lately, yes. Are you being invited to enter into quarrel with someone? I don't think so. Put your sword away. This is not the time for battle. Your enemy is not who you think it is. Do not act from a place of anger that will damage your relationships and hurt the ones you care for. Find the truth hiding in your heart that will affirm your instinct for peace rather than for war. Amen. And again, that's from the Mystical Shaman Oracle by Colette Baron Reed and Friends. And Luminous Warrior. So what we're going to do is first, so hopefully you have your notebook and pen. I like to write the Mystical Shaman Oracle at the top of the page, and then that top line there I like to write the title of the card we pulled, Luminous Warrior, and then also the date I put over on the other side of the top line there, so that way, you know, years from now they'll be like, what in the world? You'll know what date it was, or the people that come after you and go, Meemaw was crazy. Just kidding. All right, let me light this one candle too. All right, so lighting a candle, even if it is just you, it's kind of like this invitation or like a recognition that you're calling into ceremony. Because even if it's just you, you're still calling in a ceremony between you, your angels and guides, and me, right? So we have our candle lit. Let's do a little cleansing and clearing. Oyana siano tuiana kayana siano tuiano oyana iana siano tuiano oyana. Cleanse and clear all energy that does not belong here. Iana siano tuiano oyana. Cleanse and clear all energy that does not belong to me. Ana siano tuiano oyana. Cleanse and clear. And I ask cleansing and clearing from our angels and our guides. Please cleanse and clear all entities, all attachments, all energy that is no longer serving us, any energy that does not belong here, anything that is doing us harm. We ask for cleansing and clearing now. I feel for that release as in it could be a cough, it could be a yawn, it could be a burp, it could be any of the things. Cleansing and clearing all entities, attachments, anything that is causing us harm, any energy that doesn't belong to us, cleansing and clearing, asking the archangels to come in to please cleanse and clear our whole space, to keep the space a sacred space, cleansing, clearing it of all energy that does not belong here, entities that do not belong here. Keeping the space a sacred space. Calling in our angels and our guides, and our highest and our brightest. Help us to be clear channels, receiving and giving the exact messages in which we are meant to receive for our highest good. Please help us to set ego to the side and allow the message to come through clearly, free of distortions that may have been caused by anything from our past, present, or future. May we come to receive truth and integrity. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining us in this space. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here to be with us. Thank you to all of our guides, angels and guides, and our highest and brightest for being here, for helping us to grow, to learn, to heal. Thank you for the archangels for being here. I know it feels like we're signing off, but I just want to make sure we do that, because a lot of times at the end we forget and we just say amen. And that is a way of saying thank you in a closing, but this morning I just want to give an extra thank you, extra spiritual hug to, like, if we can have, like, just close your eyes and put your hands on your heart space. And we're just going to ask all of our angels and guides and our highest and brightest and all these archangels that are with us, and Jesus and Mary Magdalene and Caradwin too, all of those around you, just to bring it in for a big, giant spiritual hug, group hug. Infusing ourselves, infusing each other, infusing our spaces with just so much love and light, allowing that love and gratitude just to radiate out from our heart space. Allowing it to radiate out from us, raising our frequency. May we remember who we are in the divine presence of those around us that love us. May we remember our divinity and our connection to all that is. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose, pulling out the beautiful, magical Mother Earth energy. In through the nose and out through the mouth, pulling down that beautiful, brilliant Father Sun energy. Again, in through the nose, out through the mouth, pulling into our heart center, pulling together both of these energies together, creating this beautiful balanced energy of divine feminine and divine masculine. Breathing in. If you need to move your body, you can move your body. You can rock back and forth. You could twirl your midsection. Breathing in again here, breathing in through the nose. Okay. Allow your breath to come to a nice, natural breath. Feeling your whole being slowing down, dropping in. Dropping in. Dropping in. I want you to imagine in your mind's eye that you are standing on top of the world, but not like in the ice cold. This is just, you could just tell you're on top of the world. You could see like the sloping down on all sides. And so remember, this is our imagination. But you're in like this field, this meadow. It's this meadow to where it's not too tall to where you can kind of see out far and wide. But there's this beautiful meadow with rolling hills and little wildflowers. Maybe even see like a little bunny hopping by. This beautiful meadow and you look up and there's just beautiful clouds in the sky. It feels like the perfect spring day. Birds are flying by. You can even hear like a dog barking way in the distance in a playful way. And you're standing there taking it all in for a moment. Just being on top of the world, feeling like so tall, feeling so honored. And then you look down into your right a little bit, and there's this path, and you don't know where it leads, but you just kind of see it leading off to the right, and so you decide to, well, I'm on top of the world. It's time to explore. So you go and you start walking on this path. You just feel so much love and gratitude for being here on this earth, on this planet. You feel so connected to Mother Earth right now and to into nature and the elements. You feel the fire in your heart. You feel the breeze in the air all around you. You feel the earth beneath your feet. You just feel so incredibly grateful. You even hear water in a stream nearby. You just feel very connected in this moment. So you're just walking your path, just so happy and just so full of gratitude. And you're walking this path and you start walking through some trees. And you go into this forest. And you see, and it starts to get like shadowy, right? The trees are getting shadowy. They're blocking out the sun. But you just feel so connected. You just keep moving forward. You hear the owl. You hear rustling in the leaves. You don't know what it is, but you feel so divinely connected and protected that you just keep on your path. You just keep your eyes forward. You don't let any of the distractions of what's going on in the shadows and the dark in the forest to distract you from your path and what's ahead. You break through the forest and you're like, I did it. I'm so proud of myself. I did not get distracted by all the shadows. I did not get distracted by all the darkness and the rustling and the leaves and the fear and the doubt and the worry of getting lost. I did not let myself get distracted. I just kept going. And you break through the forest and you see some mountains and you see the path going through the mountains. So you just keep taking that path. And you know that the mountains are high and there's snow up above and you're like, it's going to be cold. It's going to be cold up there, but you just keep going. You don't let that deter you because you're on your path. You know that that's your path. So and even though it's going to be, it's the next stretch of the path is going to be hard, you just keep holding on to that knowledge that you are divinely connected. You are divinely driven and protected, and you can do this. You just know it. You feel it in your bones, and you hold on to that knowledge. You hold on to that knowledge with all you've got while you climb these mountains, while the path gets rocky and you have to climb over boulders whenever there's snow falling and your nose is so cold and your fingers are so cold, and then you start to like lose worry and think, am I getting off my path now? Feels so rocky. I don't know. Am I still on my path? I don't know. And then all of a sudden you hear the call and you look up in the sky and there's an eagle soaring above, almost saying, you're doing it. Keep coming this way, this way, this way. And so you keep going and you make it over that part, and it's back to solid ground again, where you can stand up on your 2 feet, steady at the top of this mountain that you just climbed, and with your fingers freezing, where you felt like they were starting to hurt. Everything was hurting by the time you climbed up to the top of this mountain. But then you made it, and you're at the peak, and you're looking out above it all, and it's so beautiful. Oh, it's so beautiful. And you made it. You made it through another rocky path. You made it. You made it. You made it. And even whenever you thought had lost your way, you just kept going. You followed the signs. You followed the signs, and you never lost that feeling and that knowing that you were divinely connected and divinely protected, and that you are one with divinity. You are one with source. You are one with all that is, and you have this cord connecting you to Mother Earth, and you are part of all that is. And so you just take it all in for a moment. Just let yourself fill up with pride. And you look down and you see, oh, here we go again. We got to go down now, the other side of the mountain. And it looks a little steep and maybe even a little slippery, but we can do this. We can do this. So you start down. Some parts it is a little slidey, but then all of a sudden you see like a staff, a walking stick leaning up against a tree. You say, thank you so much. And you remember to send your gratitude, and you take the walking stick and you use that to help you get down the mountain, to help you get through the steep parts. And you remember how divinely connected you are, and how support is there if and when you need it. If you remember to ask, if you remember to keep your eyes open, if you remember to stay on your path and not get distracted, not worrying about like if there's sounds of growling deep in the mountain, and you're worried, you start to fear, what does that mean for everyone here? You just keep your eyes on your path. You keep your eyes on your path, and you have your staff in hand, and you keep going, and you keep going, and you come to a river, and you have, again, it's like the water is rushing, but you are grateful for the water. You wash, you bathe, you cleanse away the day, and you ask, oh, thank you. First you send gratitude. Thank you so much for the cleansing and the clearing. Thank you so much for the refreshing. Now, how do I get to the other side? Please be my guide. And then your eyes follow the direction of which the water flows, and you see down below, you see how the stones are just so to where you can walk across to the other side. So you go and you follow down the path towards that part of the river. You go across the stepping stones. At one point, you feel like you're going to slip and fall into the river and get washed away. Get washed down the stream and then lose your whole way, your whole sense of direction. But you remember your staff. You haven't let go of your staff, and you stick the staff down into between the couple rocks to hold you steady. And you remind yourself, I've got this. We've got this, because you're not alone, and you know that. And you keep going. You keep going, and you make it to the other side. And you're sweating. And you know that this you're like halfway around the world now. And it hasn't been easy. But you look back and you think of all the things you've seen, all the places you've experienced. And you're just so grateful, knowing that, yes, I've had cuts and scrapes, and I've even almost had frostbite, and I've had so many fears and doubts and worries, and I've lost things along the way. But I've also gained things along the way, looking at your staff, looking at all the different little treasures you've gathered that you found along the way, the little heart-shaped rocks and feathers, all the signs that have kept you going, all those signs and all the coincidences on the way. Oh, isn't that funny to find this here right by the river to where I can use this to drink from? That are gifts. All the synchronicities you send so much gratitude for. So even though you are tired and it feels like it's already been such a long road, and you just keep thinking, aren't I done yet? Aren't I done yet? But then you hear that voice in your head, and they're telling you, just think about all the things you've learned how to do so far. You've learned how to do first aid using nature's plants. You've learned how to make fire. You've learned how to even build yourself a hut. You've learned how to do all these things. And now you're carrying all of this knowledge along the way that helps you from here on out. Everything that all these hard things that you've been through has taught you something new to help you even further along the way. So you're like, okay, I can do this. So you turn and you keep on going, and you enter the jungle. We're so hot. It's so hot here. It's so hot here. You were just sweating buckets. You were sweating buckets. And you're like, how am I ever going to make it through? But every time you think that, you just look, and then there's a piece of fruit hanging from a tree right there in reach, or just out of reach, but where you can figure out how to get it. They're like little gifts along the way to keep you going. Every single time you thought, I can't do it, then there is another gift, another perfectly shaded space to take a nap, to take a rest. There's another perfect little turn where then there's a waterfall and a crystalline pool to bathe in, to cool off in, just to lounge in, float around in, and just to appreciate life again in. And each time you just keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Then you come out of the jungle, and it's almost like there's this ledge. It's just this drop off. And you're like, holy Christmas. But then you look down to the right, further down. There's this rope bridge. And you're like, okay, obviously this is for me. So you go down and you walk across the rope bridge. And on the other side of this cavernous ravine it's just sand everywhere. You're like, okay, great. I go from the desert from the jungle to the desert. And the sun is so bright and hot, but this time it doesn't have that moisture to keep you moist. It's just like it feels like it's sucked out every drop of moisture from the jungle and out of your body in like one fell swoop. But you look around and you notice that you're like 3/4 of the way back to where you started. You're like, okay, I just have to trust, even though I have no idea what's ahead. And it looks just like a vast desert, dry land of no like resources in sight. I have to trust and know that every single step along the way so far, there has been gifts. There's been a way. They have shown me the way. They have shown me a way every single step of the way. I have felt supported. I have felt like, even if I felt alone and deserted 1 minute, if I just kept going, then I would be rewarded. I would be rewarded. So I need to do that again. So you remind yourself, I can do this. And you follow, like it looks almost like there's footsteps already in the sand as when you look down. So you're like, okay, there's already footsteps in the sand. I'm not the first one to ever go through all of this. Even though I feel so alone in my pain and everything that I've been going through, I'm not the only one that has gone through all of this. And you remind yourself that you have to remind yourself of that you're not the only one going through all the trials and tribulations of this world. You're not the only one, even though it feels like you're the only one in this world right now going through so much pain and heartache and trials and tribulations. You're not the only one. Somebody else has already been on this path. Somebody else has already walked the steps before you. So you start following these steps because they've already shown the way. They've already learned the lessons. So you follow them, and it's like they're your teacher, your guide in this moment. So far you've let spirit and nature and intuition and heart lead the way. But now that you're 3/4 of the way through, now you're being led by a guide. You have been given a guide, a teacher, to help you for this last stretch. And you follow those steps. And those steps show you the way to around points of danger. They show you the way to water. They show you the way to not get lost. To not get lost in the never ending, where it feels like it's never ending, like options of which way to turn, which way to go. Those steps help you to be guided in the right direction and to help you to stay focused and not get lost in your meanderings and distractions and the unknowing. So you follow the path and you trust your teacher, you trust your guide, even though you haven't even seen them. You just know. You just know. And you follow those steps. And you follow those steps and you get to see some beautiful things. You get to see some pyramids. You get to see camels and all different animals you've never seen before in your life. You know you may never be able to see them again. So you just soak it all in, even as you're just like so thirsty. But these steps keep taking you. Every time you feel like I'm not going to be able to make it one more step, then all of a sudden there's a cactus. And then you know that those steps, it's almost like the steps are speaking to you, speaking to your heart. Here, you can find refreshment here. Pay attention to this. Look here. Go there. Turn here. Rest here. And so you allow the steps to guide you, and you listen. And you, for once, you don't feel quite so alone. Oya nasiano tuia na kaya nasiano tuyano oyana. Aya nasiano tuyano oyana. So after what feels like, you have no idea, it could have been days, weeks, or months, you all of a sudden see there's like this city in the distance, and there's trees, and so you keep following those steps until it reaches the city, which you don't even know what to do with right now because you've been so like immersed in desert and jungle and mountains and forest and fields to where it's like, what do I do with this? This is a city. This is a city. There's like millions of people here. But again, you stand there at the border between desert and city, and you see like these sandy little footprints going into the city. And you're like, okay, if my guide could do it, I could do it. So you just take that first step in trust. And you step into the city with all the bustle, with all the hustle, with all the movement and motion. And it's just like an overload. It's like an overload. But there's something in the distance. There's so many people, but there's something in the distance, like the sun is shining down between the buildings in the distance, and you can see it like shining on some green. And so you just keep your eyes on that. You keep focus on that, and you try not to pay attention to so much going on around you. You keep your heart leading the way to right where that sun is shining and that bit of green is there. And so you keep going, you keep going, you keep going, and you see there's like this park in the center of it all, and this park bench, and there's somebody sitting there, and you just know you're meant to go be there. So you go and you sit there and rest. And you look to your right, and there's this woman, and you just know she needs you right now. And you think, what do I have to offer? I'm just me. I'm just me, this person that's just been through all these things. What do I have to offer? And you think that, and then you hear that voice in your head again saying, you have traveled so far and collected so many different types of medicine. Your bag is full of tricks as you have learned so much. All you have to do is listen. And then if you feel guided to pull one of these medicines from your satchel to share, whether it's a story of how you fared, or whether it's an actual tincture that you made in the jungles, or a salve you made in the forest, or just a flower you picked in the field that you feel compelled to share to help heal. Just listen to your heart and let your heart, the love and the light that lives there, lead the way. So you do. And tears run down her face, and she gives you the biggest hug. The biggest hug. And then she says, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And for a moment there you think, what did I do? But you just say, then you just turn inward and you say, thank you, thank you, thank you. To all of your angels and guides, to Source. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for this moment where I could give. You have given me so much along my path. You've given me signs and symbols. You've given me strength. You've given me nurturing. You've given me food, water, rest. everything that I've needed to make it to this point. And now in this moment, I've had a chance to give back. So thank you. So after she gets up and leaves, you take one more nice deep breath in. And you open your eyes. And you see at the top of the hill, it's where you started from. You didn't even realize. So you get up. You're a little bit more achy now, older now. And as you climb that hill, you feel, you're a little wiser now. So you climb that hill and you look all around and you realize your accomplishments, but then you feel like, but there's still so much to learn. I've learned so much, but there's still so much to learn. I could do it this, I could learn how to do it this way or that way, or if I would have known how to do something, I could have done it differently. So all of a sudden this excitement comes back through you. And even though you still have a little fear, you're still hesitant, you're still a little worried, and you still have a little doubt, but you have all that wisdom. You have all of that gratitude for not only everything that you've been through, but also then being able to share it with others. That you're like, okay, I get it. I'm ready. So you start down the hill to do it all over again. So as we pick up our pen, we're just going to ask our warrior from within, what are some words of wisdom that we need to hear in this moment for our highest good, to keep us going, to keep us firmly rooted, firmly connected, firmly on our path in gratitude and love and light, to be able to keep our path in sight and to remember what's true, to keep our eyes on truth and not the distortions of what could be in the shadows wrestling, but on the truth of the path ahead. What are some words of wisdom to give us courage, to give us strength, to help us to get up each and every day to do it all over again? Take one more nice deep breath in and out. Pick up your pen, and I will see you in 7 to 10. Amen. And so it is. Boop. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here and going on these journeys with me. That was something I don't know. Yeah, I'm grateful. Much love. See you tomorrow.